welcome class 11 Commerce. Today in this class I am going to discuss about the merits and demerits, the advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorship business that I have started recently. Now this class I am going to divide into two segments. In the first segment I am going to discuss about the merits or the advantages of a sole proprietorship business, and in the second segment I am going to discuss about the shortcomings or the limitations of sole proprietorship business. Now this is the heading for today: merits and demerits or advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorship business. Merits and demerits. Now first I will talk to you about the merits or the advantages of this sole proprietorship business. Earlier I have told you that sole proprietorship business is nothing but a small and the simplest form of business where there is only one owner or there is only one proprietor. Now this type of business has some advantages. This type of business has some significant merits. Now what are those merits? So one by one I'll explain to you those. First advantage of this kind of business is easy formation. These businesses are very small. It requires very less capital, so it is very easy to form. So easy formation is the first point of the merits, the advantages of this kind of business. It is easy to form. It is very easy to form because I have told you earlier also that no such legal formalities are required in case of formation of this kind of business. This is a very easy and simple type of a business where only a trade license is required, and no complicated procedure, no government procedure is as such is required. So this is very easy formation, and only procurement of trade license is enough. This is because there is no specific law governing the operations of this kind of business, so it is very easy to form. Now coming to the next advantage is direct incentive. Direct incentive. This means direct incentive means all the profits are enjoyed by the owner and all the losses are borne by the owner himself. Here the proprietor is alone who is entitled to receive all sorts of profits and all sorts of rewards, and there is always a direct relationship with profits and rewards, with efforts and rewards. So he gets all the rewards. Whatever he has earned, it belongs to him only, and there is no other partners or no other owners. So he is very much motivated to make the best possible effort because he is enjoying the whole profit. At the same time, he has to utilize the whole resources, and that's why there is a risk also. So he suffers the loss alone also. So there is no one who takes his profit, and there is no one who suffers his loss also. So this is the second important point. The third important point is decision making. Here I have told you earlier also that sole proprietorship, in sole proprietorship business, sole proprietor act as the mother of any kind of business. He is free to take any decision, he is free to make any decision and implement them also. So he need not have to consult with others. He can consult with others, but there is no one to take the decisions. He alone himself can take quick decisions. Since he don't have to depend on others, he can make quick decisions and with immediate actions also, and he don't have to need or seek for others' permission. He alone can do this. So there is a lot of flexibility in operation. Since he alone is the owner, there is a lot of flexibility in the operation. There is no rigidity. So this is the third important point, and the fourth important point is independent control. Now this is the sole proprietorship is the supreme judge of all the matters related to the business. It is lying in his hands only. So he has the complete freedom of action. He has independent control over the business and nobody else is having that. Next point is secrecy of affairs. Secrecy of affairs. Now, since there is no legal compulsion of a sole proprietorship to publish any kind of accounts to anybody, he is not eligible to do that. He is not eligible, he is not bound to do that. So, he keeps his business secrets with him. He need not have to share it with other partners because there is no other partner. So, this provides him a greater competitive strength. So, this is the next important point, that is secrecy of business affairs. Now coming to the next important point is personal touch. Now we have to keep it in mind that in case of a sole proprietorship business, the proprietor is always in personal touch. He maintains a direct relationship. He is in direct contact with the customers, as well as he is in direct contact with the employees of the organization also. Because it is small, so he is in direct contact with the customers. He can make the changes according to their taste and preferences, and he can also keep in direct relationship. He can keep direct contact with the employees, so he can pay an attention to their griefs and grievances also. Because it is a small organization, this is possible. It is possible to keep in contact with the employees as well as the customers, and everything is customized. Everything is based on the customers' preferences and choices, because they are very much in contact with the customers. Now coming to the next point, that is inexpensive management. Inexpensive management. Now this kind of business requires very small capital. This kind of business requires very small capital. With the help of very small capital, this business can be set up. Very small resources is required, and since all the supervisory and all the management activities are performed by the proprietor himself, so expensive expenditures can be cut off by him. He can reduce his expenditure to the lowest, because very small expenses are there. Other huge overhead expenses, he can cut off his overhead cost. That is possible in case of a sole proprietorship business. So this is a very important point. Now coming to the next point, next very important point is tax advantage. That is this is another very important point, tax advantage. Please note tax advantage. This business is very small business, so it has the minimum tax burden compared to the other big organizations which are having much more tax burden. So this type of organization is having minimum tax burden. The owner is taxed individually, and his business is not taxed separately. He has to pay tax along with his business. As an individual, he has to pay tax, and that is all. His business is not separate from him, so he don't have to pay tax separately for his business. So he enjoys a tax benefit for this. So these are the important advantages of, or important merits of these sole proprietorship business. I have provided the notes. Please download the PDF so that you can get the notes for your convenience. Go through those, learn those, so that you can understand very well. since we are providing virtual classes, you may face problem regarding the question answers and what question answers you should go through and what not. So that's why the PDF is provided. Please see the description box, and if you have any problem related to this topic, you can leave a comment. We will definitely try to answer those problems if we find any. Now we come to the second part of this topic, that is demerits. I'm rubbing the board. I hope you have all noted down the points that I have provided over here. Now we will come to the drawbacks or shortcomings of sole proprietorship business. Actually, there are many shortcomings, but we will talk about the important and main shortcomings of sole proprietorship business. Now, the first and foremost shortcoming of this kind of business is limited resources. Now we'll talk about the demerits, the shortcomings, the limitations, the disadvantages or the drawbacks of sole proprietorship business. The first being limited resources. Limited resources. This is very important. Now, because this type of business is a small business, this type of firm, the finance is supplied by the owner either from his own fund or he can borrow from others, but he himself has to provide it. So raising capacity is very low. Raising capacity of this type of organization is very low, because he cannot go beyond a certain limit. Beyond a certain limit of borrowing, he cannot go. So the business also cannot grow, or the business also cannot expand. So this is a very important shortcoming, that is limited resources. This is very important shortcoming. Now the second point is unlimited liability. Unlimited liability. In this kind of business, liability is unlimited because not only his business assets, if he suffers from any kind of loss, or if he fails to any kind of making payment of any kind of debt, for any kind of business failure. The main thing is, for any kind of business failure, not only his business assets but also his personal property is liable to pay off or to pay back the debts. So this is the main drawback of this sole proprietorship business, that is it has unlimited liability. The proprietor will not only lose his business assets, but also he has to sell his personal property in order to pay back all the failures, all the losses that he has incurred in the long run of the business. So this is very important. Now we come to point number 3, that is limited managerial skills. Since the sole proprietorship alone is the owner, he has certain limitation. Now a single proprietor is bounded with too many workload, and he is not expert in all the fields, so he need to hire any professional or any advisor, but he is not in a position to do that because his financial capacity is low. That's why he cannot afford to keep any specialized manager or any specialized accountant, any specialized person, any person of a specialized skill. He cannot afford because of his financial limitation. So this is the next point, the next important point. And number 4 is limited scope of expansion. This I have already explained to you, that limited scope of expansion means, since capital is low, therefore business cannot grow, business cannot extend to a certain limit, because resources, capital is low. Capital means low resources, low labors, low production. So they after a certain limit, the business cannot grow. Now we come to the last point, last important drawbacks, that is uncertainty of life. Uncertainty of life. Generally, sole proprietorship business ends with the death or insolvency of the proprietor. If he dies or if he becomes financially insolvent, then it solely depends upon his existence. If he is not existing, if he is not surviving, how can anyone expect that the business will go on? And the business can be carried on by a proper successor, but if it is not there, then the business ceases to exist. The business exists no more. So business come to a standstill due to the illness, due to the death, or any kind of insolvency, or any kind of other matters also. Business may come to an end. There is no one to carry, there is no other owner to carry on the business for an unlimited period. So these are the shortcomings of sole proprietorship business. I hope you have understood the advantage and understood the advantage and disadvantages, the merits and demerits of these kind of business, the sole proprietorship business. Please go through the points that I have written over here. Please go through the points of the merits and the demerits that is provided in the PDF. Please download the PDF, see the description box, download the PDF attached with this class. And if you have any problem, leave a comment. We'll definitely go through that. Now with this, I end the chapter of sole proprietorship business. This is all about sole proprietorship business. The definition, the features or characteristics, the merits, the demerits, all these are the important topics of sole proprietorship business. And with this, I end the chapter. In my next class, I will come up with some other important business studies chapter. Till then, goodbye.